Good evening. Thanks for joining us on Newswatch Saturday. I am Irvin Forbes. Here are the top news stories coming up. New energy is being channeled to dismantle gangs. Police in Western Jamaica busy again as criminals stage attacks. And the tourism minister says Jamaica is on track to welcoming 2.5 million stopover visitors by year end. Also coming up, Weather Watch, Inspire Jamaica Take 2, and Sports Watch. Do stay with us. After the break, I'll have the news in detail. Thanks for staying with us. Special welcome to you on the internet at CVMTV.com. We remind you to download the CVM TV app from the Google Play Store. New energies are being channeled to dismantle gangs in the country. The impact of gangs on the country and the rest of the world was highlighted at a recent anti-gang training seminar for JCF investigators at the start of the weekend. Marjorie Gordon reports.
Noting that gang activity in the country is linked to drugs, gun trafficking, murder and other forms of organized crimes in Jamaica, representatives from the Jamaica Constabulary Force will meet for 3 more days to address the problem. With over 200 gangs in Jamaica undermining legitimate operations, JCF officials bemoan the fact that more significant impact has not been made on these groups. The JCF feels the time has come to make gangs in Jamaica extinct.
I think they have outlived their shelf lives. I think their use-by date has passed. But it's going to depend on the quality of the work that law enforcement produce in ensuring that they are dealt with according to Jamaica's law.
But to make this a reality for a phenomenon that knows the art of reinventing itself, it is believed that more is required to achieve certain results, including dismantling gangs in the next few months.
The police force, for example, will have to recruit individuals with the right aptitude, those who will dedicate the time and effort necessary to counter the influence of gangs and organized crime. The government, too, will also need to equip the police force with the necessary equipment and other forms of support to help officers to get the job done. And the citizens of Jamaica will also need to work with the police by providing the necessary information to aid in investigation, detection, and punishment of crimes.
For head of the National Integrity Action, Professor Trevor Monroe, critical outcomes must be derived from the gathering.
Out of this seminar, we hope that each of you will be reinforced in your resolve not to allow corrupt officers nor our politicians to nullify your good work, your exceptional sacrifice as professionals of the highest standards.
It was explained that higher rates of convictions in the course are needed to help take control of gangs. Marjorie Gordon, CVM News.
In a Newswatch follow-up now, still on the crime scene, the St. Mary police are investigating the second murder in as many days. Reports are that about 8:30 last evening, a team of police officers was on patrol in the Anata Bay area when they stumbled on the body of a male. It had what appeared to be several gunshot wounds to the upper body. The body of the man was rushed to the Anata Bay Hospital where he was formally pronounced dead. He has been identified as 23-year-old Leon Gray, otherwise called Bayer, of Cricket River in Anata Bay. The police are appealing to anyone with information to share it with them so that they can solve this or any other crime. And 3 murders and several shootings in St. James have members of the police in that parish heightening their operations. As Marjorie Gordon tells us, police say gangs are responsible for the criminal activity in the parish.
The murder of 24-year-old Stephanie Sang and a man known only as Brady Thursday in Go Peace Lane in the Montego Hills area of St. James, coupled with the murder of janitor Delroy Williams, otherwise called Laser Friday, has members of the force on high alert. Another man was also shot and wounded in that incident. The police say Montego Hills and Mount Salem remain a challenge to them due to gang activities in the areas.
It is well known that gangsters have been at each other in terms of having various conflicts, and they are creating mayhem within the communities. The police have responded quite effectively in terms of ensuring that we do not have this kind of thing continuing.
To cauterize the situation, the Deputy Superintendent says the police have been conducting several operations and made some arrests.
These operations are coordinated, and what we will do is intensify them, because we are aware that there are a lot of citizens within these communities who are not for the kind of thing that is happening. And so we really want to assure citizens that we are in these spaces and we will be operating in a manner where they should feel assured that the police is there with them.
He now wants citizens to communicate with the police to fight crime in the parish.
It makes no sense that you are there in the communities, seeing things happening, seeing men moving around with firearms, and you do not notify the police, because you never can tell when the guns will be pointed in your direction. So we are asking for that kind of communication.
Marjorie Gordon, CVM News.
In other news now, the Met Office has lifted the flash flood warning or watch for all parishes, and responses and repairs are now among the main areas of focus. So let's take a closer look at the lingering effects of the flood rains on Cave Valley in St. Anne. Our news team was in the town just after the high waters subsided to see how the business sector was impacted. A section of Cave Valley in the immediate aftermath of the flood rains. This plaza in the town among the structures affected. Now, this is a scene after the water subsided. Business persons cleaning and counting losses.
Yes, I sell ice cream and I lost ice cream, and my neighbor, the barber, and a clothes store, and the clothes, they lost a lot of clothes. It's a plaza anyhow, so we have lost a lot.
We saw Miss Buchanan helping her niece to clean up her store.
And she lost about $2 million worth of things. You know, since morning I came here to assist her with the cleaning up and all of that. So the things that she lost, they are all muddy and all that. So we packed them in garbage bags and all that, and she showed them the heat there. And
while the operator of this wholesale was not certain at the time how much he had lost, he knew it would be significant.
Canned stuff, rice, flour, sugar, milk, almost everything you can list that is sold here. Some of it has been damaged.
Mr. Campbell was grateful to friends and neighbors who he said helped to move some of the goods to higher ground when the rain started pouring. But after a while, it was too much to continue. He is now thinking of storing his goods in another location, especially when the hurricane season comes around. And by midweek, the St. Anne Municipal Corporation started its mitigation exercise in the parish. Now, according to Deputy Mayor Sidney Stewart, councillors sent in additional reports and investigations were underway by Thursday morning. And while explaining that farmers have suffered huge losses to crops and livestock, the Deputy Mayor gave an update on what he said that the corporation was doing quite a bit of activity to assist residents. News on the tourism sector now. Jamaica is expected to welcome 2.5 million stopover visitors for 2017 as the country pushes to earn $3 billion from tourism by 2019. Brian Walker has more.
Jamaica is on track to welcoming 2.5 million stopover visitors by the end of the year, according to Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett. He was addressing a Tourism Linkages Council meeting on Thursday.
We have 2.2 million stopover. We're dealing with stopover now, right? 2.2 million stopover, and that yields at the moment 2.56, roughly 2.6 billion. So we're going this year to go to 2.5, and at 2.5 we expect to be somewhere in the region of 2.8 billion on the basis of a 6%, 6 to 7% increase that we're experiencing now. First 4 months of this year, we had a 6.8% increase in revenue.
Bartlett said based on the current growth trajectory, Jamaica should earn $3 billion by 2019. But how much money is projected to go into the economy?
Even at 30 cents, $1 billion can be retained in the economy. So the net impact of tourism would be $1 billion by 2019. Now, that has implications for many things. But if you put it to 40 cents, which is where we want to go with these networks, then you'll be talking about 1.5 billion.
I'm Brian Walker for CVM News.
A statue in honor of national hero Marcus Garvey was unveiled yesterday at the University of the West Indies. Now, as Brian Walker reports, attendees lauded the move, adding that Garvey's teachings of black power and Pan-Africanism are still relevant.
A bust of Jamaica's first national hero, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, was unveiled on Friday in the courtyard of the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. President of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, Stephen Goling, said the statue is meaningful but long overdue.
It's a modest effort and certainly doesn't have to be the only statue on the campus, but I do want to commend themselves, Club Africa, the Archaeology Club, and the Humanities Department. I think it's long overdue. I think the realization of a truly Pan-African culture is long overdue, particularly where Jamaica in the world marketplace is so well respected for carrying the Pan-African banner in icons such as Marcus Garvey, such as Bob Marley, Joel Augustus Rogers, and others. So placing a statue like this on the primary, tertiary educational institution in the country can only serve to heighten and increase that awareness, and hopefully more African descendants will answer the call to Pan-Africanism.
Professor of Literary and Cultural Studies Caroline Cooper said Pan-Africanism is still relevant in contemporary Jamaica.
You see people in Jamaica still bleaching? That is a relevance of Pan-Africanism. Black people need to understand our identity as people of power coming from a grand continent. We need to be able to celebrate our culture and our identity. Pan-Africanism is an affirmation of connections between Africans on the continent and in the diaspora.
I'm Brian Walker for CVM News.
We have another picture this evening, another story about animal theft, but it's not what you may expect. This time it's a horse that's stolen, a grey stallion, which the owner says was stolen from a farm in Adelphi in St. James. The owners add that the stallion is homebred and is unique, as he is the only playing stallion in Jamaica in the sport of polo. Now, what you're looking at, the horse was taken away on May 18, and the owner points out that he has a brand on his left shoulder. And more pictures now. You might have seen them, you might have heard of these pictures, or you might have been a part of it. The regular long line of applicants for a visa at the U.S. Embassy during the steady rainfall on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, no doubt many, or all of them, believe they would not be easily allowed or allowed at all to request a different interview date. If they thought that, the embassy has issued a reminder that applicants can indeed reschedule their appointment date. According to embassy policy, there is no charge for making or cancelling an appointment. And if an applicant needs to change his or her originally scheduled appointment, he or she is asked to please cancel and reschedule. And right now we go to a break ahead of the weather report and inspire the next.